All right, hello everybody. My name is Jack McFarland. I am a senior here graduating from the BTAS program at the University of Cincinnati. I also work full time as a finance manager at a local car dealership in Cincinnati. But, anyways, diving right in, this semester I chose to work with the Great Parks of Hamilton County. They are a local organization within Hamilton County that oversees most of our park operations in the city. Um, and I want to just extend, before we kind of dive into this, I want to extend a huge thank you to the Great Parks of Hamilton County. I really enjoyed my time with them, and everybody that I met was very kind and helpful. So I really enjoyed the work that I did with them. But anyways, Great Parks of Hamilton County is important to the city of Cincinnati because they handle all of the parklands in the city. That's 22 parks or over 17,600 acres worth of parkland. From doing anything as far as like removing litter, taking care of the plants, invasive plant removal, things of that nature. With my time at Great Parks of Hamilton County, I was a short-term volunteer, so I didn't handle many like large tasks. However, when I was with them, I did activities as far as like litter pickup, invasive plant removal, a reforestation event at Glenwood Gardens where we packaged up tree saplings and they were later dispersed to local schools around the Cincinnati area for the students to plant them somewhere. So I thought that was a really cool event as well. That was probably my most mentionable or rememberable event from my time there with them. But litter pickup was hard. It was very good work. Um, it was fulfilling because you could turn around and see the progress or the difference you were making by picking up the litter. But you also learn a couple other things as far as like people are kind of gross with some of the things that they throw outside of their cars. But I worked with a lot of people, met a lot of new people as far as employees for the park, students like me that were short-term volunteers, and then others that just frequently volunteers with the parks. Great Parks of Hamilton County does rely very heavily on their volunteers. Um, Now you can see my poster here. I want to zoom in for you because it's going to be hard to see the SWOT analysis if I don't zoom in. But anyways, some of the main points as far as strengths go, the parks have a very strong mission statement as far as taking care of the parks and very strong core values. They have a lot of locations throughout Hamilton County, and their staff is very, very helpful and friendly. I think that might be a huge strength for them. Like one of the most honorable mentions is even though they're trying to short staffed, everybody's very nice and helpful. Weaknesses, big weakness is probably lack of staff. I heard this a lot from a lot of the employees that work for the Great Parks. A lot of them are just saying, "Oh, if only we had more staff to help us out." And then obviously overall budget, parks are kind of low on the totem pole with the United States government as far as funding goes. Opportunities they have, they could build more trails or establish a blueway system. A blueway system is essentially like trails that either lead to water or are in water or include water, something for people that enjoy being around water, or establishing more community partnerships. And then as far as threats go, their biggest threats are going to be not enough volunteers and not enough staff to carry out necessary functions. That's kind of a high-level overview of my SWOT analysis. Then I'm going to scroll over to recommendations as well so you can see that category. As far as recommendations for myself after spending time with them, the first recommendation I would make is maybe, advertise, and advertise might not be the right word for it, but advertise more the importance of volunteers to the park system and how vital it is that people work with them. I don't see a lot of advertising for them needing volunteers, but they stress the importance of the volunteers to us when we're there. Some other recommendations as far as low funding, maybe set up some fundraising activities as far as maybe like a community car wash or like a bake sale or things of that nature to try to pull in some extra money to spend on projects for around the local parks. And then like third recommendation was a small weakness I noticed is some of the parks don't have great signage as far as like telling you where to go. And there was a couple times where I went to volunteer and I was a little bit confused on where to go, so maybe just improving on some of the signage. But other parks had great signage. Either way, the most important thing that I learned from this experience is the importance of volunteers on our park system. Now, Great Parks of Hamilton County is not the only park system in Cincinnati. There's a few more that operate. Well, there's one big one. It's the city of Cincinnati themselves operates some parks in the city of Cincinnati or Hamilton County. But either way, just the importance of volunteers is probably the most important thing that I learned and my biggest takeaway from this. And hopefully I'll be going back to volunteer with them as more of like a long-term volunteer. But either way, I enjoyed it and had lots of fun with them. But again, a huge thank you to them and a huge thank you to their volunteer coordinator, Chris. She's awesome. And other people of that nature, everybody that I worked with. So overall, I enjoyed the project, and thank you again to the Great Parks of Cincinnati.